Hi guys, I'm whispering because my nephew is in a room next to me sleeping and I don't want to wake him up or anybody still hear me, so that's why it's kind of quiet. So I hope you can hear me. I hope I can hear this after I've done recording. But so if you're here joining again, thank you. So in our last blog we talked about Enoch and relationship with the Lord. So we've gone through desire, surrender, relationship, and now we're on to action. And we actually come to action with Noah in Hebrews 11. Let me get there real quick. It says, by faith Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear, prepared an ark for the saving of his household, by which he condemned the world and became the heir of righteousness, which is according to faith. He moved and he prepared. He did the action. So we find Noah's story in Genesis 6. So I'm going to start in Genesis 6 verses 9. I'm going to read through 14. So it says, this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with the pitch. So the rest of that goes on telling him what to do with the ark. So my question for this was, how did Noah know that he wasn't crazy, that it wasn't just his own voice telling him? And what's so cool, and the reason I'm doing a video again instead of writing, is because we're basically going to go back over relationship, and I feel like it's more of a, connecting thing with a video. And so what's so cool is with Enoch, it said that he walked with God, and that's when we started relationship. That's that part of faith, was having that relationship. And again, we see with Noah, it says Noah walked with God. So we know that he had that relationship. So what I want to show you is another reason why it's so important, and a different kind of perspective than Enoch. Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more. He got to go back with God, but Noah walked with God and then carried out the action that God told him. So I'm going to start with John 14:23. So get there. What's the next? 14:23 through 24. It says, Jesus answered and said to him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and he will come to him and make our home with him. He who does not love me does not keep my word, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father who sent me. I used to read this and think Jesus telling like little kids, if you love me, then you'll do this. And I was just actually on Instagram the other day, so random, but I totally gave me another perspective of this verse, saying it's not if you do this, then that means you love me. That's law. Okay, what he's saying is, if you love me, it gives you the ability to carry out my laws. Just worry about loving me, and everything else will come into place. And that's relationship, which is so awesome. And that's what Noah had. You can see the difference with Noah and the people. The people did not love God, so they weren't able to keep the commandments and became corrupt. But Noah walked with God, and he loved God. In order to love God, you have to have a relationship, right? In order to love somebody, you have to have a relationship with them. And so Noah loved God and was able to keep his commandments. It says that he was a just man, perfect in his generation. And the reason for that was not because he was perfect human being, but he loved God and so was able to keep his commandments. In order to love someone, you need to have a relationship with him. So yeah, it's just like seeing that verse in John just like twisted that way towards like relationship and not law, like totally gave me even more freedom. And it's not just like the Lord saying like, if you do this, it'll show that you love me. I mean, like, if you love me, this is what happens. It's just like a way of it processes. Is if you love me, then you're able to do these things. Just worry about the loving part and the relationship part. So we go on in Genesis 17 through 18. It says, "And behold, I myself bringing the floodwaters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you and your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you." So in John 14:23 it says that if you love me, you'll keep my commands, and my Father will make you his dwelling place. And that's what God was doing here. Noah walked with God. He had a relationship with God. He loved God, and so was able to keep those commandments. And by doing that, then God has said, okay, this is who I choose to continue my covenant, to make the rest of like humanity. Like, how awesome is that? It's like amazing. So we do go to Genesis 22. It says, "Thus Noah did according to all that God commanded him, so he did." So my question comes into play again. How did Noah know he wasn't crazy? Like, hearing that from the Lord, talking about floods that have never happened before, rain that's never happened before, and all these new things, and to build an ark, it's like a big step. And if you don't know, you're not crazy by like stepping out in faith like that. Like, there's no other way you can do it. And so that was my question, is like, how? And so the Lord directed me back to John. I like loving the book of John. But anyways, John 10:27. And I think it's a pretty common verse, which is good, but it just like brings a whole new meaning for me. 27, where are you? It says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." So if we remember, we're going through the verse also of Matthew 16:24, talking about if you desire to follow me, deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me, right? And we're on the follow me part, the action part. And it says here in verse 27, "My sheep hear my voice, and they know me, and they follow me." That's why when you come to this part of faith in action, you have to go back to relationship, because that is like the main point. You know his voice. You are his sheep. You know his voice by spending time with him and by having that relationship with him and having that be the priority, not the action part of it. The priority needs to be back into the relationship with the Lord. How is your relationship with him? If he's talking to you, do you think you're crazy? If he's telling you something crazy, do you feel like it's you, or could but there's just that burning that, no, it is the Lord. I know it's the Lord. I know for me, I didn't really understand this verse until I was called to Haiti. Until I knew it was the Lord. I don't know how to explain it other than I'm his sheep, and I heard his voice, and I know him, and I followed. Like, there's nothing that I can compare it to, but it's like the most wonderful journey ever. it's amazing to hear God's voice and know that you're not crazy, even though on the outside it might look like it did for Noah. But it's only when you have relationship with him, when you know him outside of the law, outside of having, I need to do this and this and this and this, and so this happens. Taking John 14:23 and not making it about the law and about doing all the right commandments, but emphasizing the love part. If you love me, then you're able to do this. I love the Passion Translation, how it says that if you love me, it gives you it empowers you to do my commandments. And it's like, makes it so clear and so amazing. I don't know if I was talking too fast in this video. I don't want to make it too long like I did the last one, and it's kind of almost like a review. But I just feel like it's so important. I feel like the relationship part of it gets so overlooked, and people just want to get into the action part. But it first says for Noah, he walked with God, and then he did all that the Lord commanded him. It takes that walking with him first, and it took me like 18 months, or it's like 2 years of finding out what that means, and it's amazing. It really is. Even after, like, you're walking with the Lord and you hear his voice, and you fall into hard times, you still know, like, there's that distinction of, when the Lord is speaking to you, and it's an amazing feeling, and he's so good, and his grace is so great and wonderful, and I feel like I'm almost rambling now, so I'm gonna probably let you guys go. If you watched this, thank you. I hope it made sense, and I hope it was the Lord and not me. This challenge, I really want to make sure I'm not doing these kinds of things for the challenge, but for the Lord calling me to do it, and not just getting it done, because that's what needs to be done. So, and that's why this is coming up so late, because I really wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. So, thank you for watching if you watched, and again, if you have any questions or comments or just any kind of feedback, I don't know, you can comment on it or Facebook message or something. So, thanks for watching. I'm going to let you guys go, and yeah, love you guys. Bye.